Hey everyone, welcome to the IELTS online video lesson, and this is Atul, your coach, your IELTS buddy. And in this lesson, we will go through the 3 key steps to identify the main topic and all parts of the IELTS Writing Task 2 question. So let's get started. Now you might be wondering why this is important. Well, why should you even care about this topic, right? So the basic fact is this: if you fail to identify the main topic of the question, or if you fail to answer all parts of the question, you will score below band 6 in IELTS. It's as simple as that. I've seen so many students struggle with getting a high band score in the writing section, and the main reason is because they are not able to identify the main topic of the question, and they just don't answer every single part of the question, and that's why they don't score well in the writing section. I look at it as driving your car in the wrong direction. You might have the fastest car in the world, or you might have unlimited fuel, but you will never reach your destination. So similarly, you might write the best essay and you might use the best vocabulary and you might have perfect grammar, but unless you identify the correct topic and you answer every part of the question, you will not score well in IELTS. So here's a typical IELTS Writing Task 2 question. I just want to make a note here that there are many different types of IELTS Writing Task 2 questions, and we will go through each of them in a lot of detail in later videos. But let's just take this example. So when you come across a question like this, the very first thing that you need to do in order to identify the main topic and parts of the question is to read the question carefully. And not just read, but read and understand every word of the question. Let's do that here. So the question says, the obesity rate among teenagers has increased dramatically in many developed countries. Discuss some possible reasons for this increase and suggest solutions. Now you need to be able to understand every single word here. So there shouldn't be any guesswork. You should know the meanings of every single word in the question. So as you can see, obesity rate, it means the fattiness or the weight gain of teenagers. And teenagers is anyone, young people who are in the age group of 13 to 19, has increased dramatically. So it has increased severely or very quickly in many developed countries. Developed countries are countries like USA, Canada, Australia, UK, and so on. So you need to be able to understand the meaning of every single word, and until you do that, I suggest that you read and reread the question so that you have understood every single word of the question. So step 2 is to underline the keywords that identify the main topic of the question. Now you might ask, what are keywords? Keywords are essentially the nouns and verbs in the claim sentence or sentences of the question. Now again, let's backtrack for a moment. Lots of new information here. Claim sentence, and what does that mean, right? So if you look at all task 2 questions, you will find that there are essentially 2 parts to the question. It almost divides the question into 2 parts. The first part of the question will always claim something. It will give you information. It will just provide you something almost as a fact. So in this case, you see that this first part, it says the obesity rate among teenagers has increased dramatically in many developed countries. So it's just presenting some facts to you, and it's just making a claim. So that's the claim sentence of the question. The next part of the question is asking you to do something. So it's saying discuss some possible reasons for this increase and suggest solutions. So here it is asking you to do something, so we call it the call to action part of the sentence of the question. So the first part is the claim sentence and the second part is the call to action sentence. So in terms of identifying the main topic of the question, you need to look for keywords in the claim part of the sentence. So we'll just focus on this part for now. And here we will just underline the nouns and the verbs of the statement. So obesity rate, teenagers, increased, developed countries. So now once we do this, it will quickly help us identify the main topic of the question. And in this case, our main topic is obesity rate increase among teenagers in developed countries. Now you need to write only about this topic. Now the big mistake that most IELTS candidates do is they write about a topic which is not the main topic. So they might write about obesity rate among adults or people who are above 50. That's incorrect. Or you may write about obesity rate increase among teenagers in developing countries. Again, that's incorrect, because here the main topic was obesity rate increase among teenagers in developed countries, and that's all you need to write about. Nothing about adults or nothing about developing countries. It's only stick to this main topic. Step 3 is to identify all parts of the question. Now, parts of the question can be tricky to identify. You need to look for joining words. Now, joining words are like and, or, and you need to look for these words in the call to action sentence of the question. Now, remember how we discussed that the first part of the question is the claim sentence, and the second part of the question is the call to action, where it's actually asking you to do something. So you need to look for joining words in the call to action part, which is this part of the question. So let's see, if we have and or, we have and here. So that means you have two parts of the question. The first part is asking you to discuss some possible reasons for this increase and to suggest solutions. So we find that there are two parts of the question, and these are possible reasons why obesity rate among teenagers in developed countries has increased, and we need to suggest solutions for this problem. Now, in order to maximize your score in IELTS, you must discuss both these parts of the question, and you must write roughly equal amounts about each part. The most common mistakes that I see in a lot of candidates who are not able to score well in the writing section of IELTS is that they write only about the reasons or only about the solutions. So they are just addressing one part of the question, not the other. Or they are writing most of their essay about the reasons and only a small part about solutions, or vice versa. So they are focusing really a lot of their attention on only one part and not the other. Or some of them are just not writing about reasons nor solutions, so they are neither writing about reasons nor solutions. So you need to avoid these mistakes. Or some people just write off topic, so they might write about diet plans or weight loss programs or something. I'm just making it up right now, but if you write off topic, if you don't focus on the main topic of the question and address each specific part of the question, you will lose marks, and those are the common mistakes that most candidates do. So let's recap what we learned in today's lesson. Spend time at the beginning to read and understand the question carefully. Underline the keywords that identify the main topic of the question. And the keywords are essentially the nouns and verbs in the claim sentence of the question. Identify all parts of the question. Now, that's done by looking at the joining words like and or in the call to action part of the question. And finally, your essay should address the main topic and all parts of the question. So that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you next time.